Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I bid to Madam Nur Hayati. So this is our group triplet from section 2, and this is my group members, which are Siti Aminah, Rahamoni and me, Nuzikil Hakim. So today we're going to present to you about sustainable development goals in KPMG. So let us first go to the introduction. So this paper will talk about SDG, which is 17 global goals that were set up in 2015 by the United Nations General Assembly and are intended to be achieved in the year 2030. So SDG is a goals that need to be achieved globally, which means every country and company has to make decisions that align with the sustainable development goals. So whenever the company or the country are making decisions, they need to take into account the consideration of achieving one of these development goals. So in this case, we're going to focus on how KPMG is going to achieve the 30th SDG, which is climate change.
The company that we chose for our project is KPMG, which is one of the top Big Four financial service companies in the world. For the purpose of this project, we will focus on KPMG Malaysia. KPMG Malaysia is part of a global organization of independent professional services firms which was founded in 1987. The firm operates in 146 countries and employs more than 227,000 people across all of its member firms. It provides professional services in audit, tax, and advisory across a wide range of business, government, and non-profit sectors. The purpose of KPMG is to inspire confidence and empower change. KPMG helps to build the confidence of their clients in regards to their business operations by resolving complex business problems relating to accounting, reporting, as well as business decisions. Additionally, by focusing on driving lifelong learning in their communities, which is done via various community engagement and social activities, the company helps to promote a positive change in society. Some of their social activities in Malaysia are virtual KPMG charity run, eco drive projects, and support of Malaysia's immunization program that provides paid leave to employees who volunteer to help or opt to take the vaccination. In general, KPMG is determined to reduce their impact on the environment and focus on 3 areas of their planet corporate social responsibility. First goal is decarbonization, that is zero carbon emission by 2030. Second is to reduce climate change by assisting their clients through quality information, and lastly, improving their impact on nature and biodiversity. From the 3 goals mentioned, decarbonization is the only goal that is in relation to SDG 13 as well as is aimed to be adopted by KPMG to directly contribute to the climate change rather than indirectly, which is usually through helping clients' business. Moving on to case protagonist. The main protagonist is Datuk Johan Idris, who is the managing partner of KPMG in Malaysia and was assigned this position in the year 2014. Johan Idris has 23 years of experience in business advisory and audit services and has worked with gas and oil industries in US and Indonesia. So what is the major issue? Based on the interview and our research, we have found that KPMG Malaysia wants to become carbon neutral by 2030. We have found that there is a lack of initiative taken by KPMG to attain their carbon neutral agenda. So the question arises, what can KPMG do to encourage departments and achieve their SDG target to become a carbon neutral firm? So why is this issue? Firstly, due to lack of awareness and encouragement. Employees are not fully aware on how they can contribute to aid KPMG in reducing carbon footprints. This shows that the employees do not have enough knowledge about how this problem can be fully addressed. There also seems to be low encouragement for employees to propose ways to reduce carbon footprints. Due to this low encouragement and morale, the employees themselves have not proposed ideas to bring about a change. Additionally, there is currently no system that measures this involvement positively to encourage departments to participate and be part of this initiative, which might be another factor as to why departments have not made this priority, as there will be no measure of their involvement. Second is the busy schedule. The employees of the company mostly has a busy work schedule as the employees deal to resolve clients' business issues. As a result, the work is prioritized first and hence leaves less time to be contributed to resolving and addressing carbon emission goals in the firm. Next is the pandemic. The COVID-19 pandemic has posed a lot of new challenges for many businesses. Overcoming these challenges have been a difficult task, and in order to continue to serve KPMG's client, they have to assign their time to become accustomed to the new normal while maintaining the quality of their services and professional.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Siti Aminah binti Rahman. So I will continue to expand on the Sustainable Development Goals or SDG that we have choose to highlight in our term paper. So we actually have choose SDG 13 as our SDG in this term paper, where SDG 13 seek to take immediate action to combat climate change and its impact. So as we know, weather extremes such as heat, wave, drought, flood, tropical cyclone are becoming more common and intense as a result of the climate change, worsening water management issue, reducing food security, boosting health risks, damaging essential infrastructure, and disrupting basic services such as water sanitation, education, energy, and also transportation. So as a result, the United Nations has launched some initiative to address this climate change with the goal of achieving carbon neutrality by 2050. So in order to achieve this goal, the United Nations also has come up with the target that certain organizations can use to achieve the SDG 13. So I will explain one by one the target listed. Firstly is the target 13.1. Target 13.1, they want to emphasize strengthen resilient and adapting capacity to climate-related hazard and natural disaster in all countries. Next is the target 30.2. Target 30.2, they want to integrate climate change measure into national policy, strategies, and planning. Next, target 30.3. Target 30.3, they want to improve education, awareness raising, and human and international capacity on climate change mitigation, adaptation, impact reduction, and also early warning. There is also target 13.8, where they want to implement commitment undertaken by development country parties to the United Nations Framework Convention, while the target 13.b, they want to promote mechanism for raising capacity for effective climate change related planning and management in the least developed country. So that's all for the Sustainable Development Goals. Next, we continue to the accounting technique. So basically, in this term paper, we choose a balanced scorecard to analyze the situation and problem of the company. So this balanced scorecard, or we call as BSC, is a accounting technique used to examine the company's management effort to implement SDG 13 while maintaining the financial performance. So basically, the BSC is a strategic management performance indicator that is used to identify and enhance a various internal company operation as well as the external outcome they produce. Since, as we mentioned before this, the issue is come from the internal factor of the company. By using BSC, the scorecard can provide information about the company as a whole. Therefore, it is easy to conduct strategy mapping to determine where value is have to be added inside a business. So the balanced scorecard involves measuring for main aspect, four main aspect where you can see here. The first one is the customer relationship or customer perspective, and then financial, internal processes, and also lastly the learning and growth or education and growth. So each aspect has to be explained specifically their own goal, and then and also the initiative to reach the goal and come up with the measurement or analysis that show that the goal is reached or not. So our decision to choose this balanced scorecard or BSC is also influenced by the benefit that the KPMG can get by applying this technique. So firstly is they will improve their performance on the strategic planning. So as I mentioned before, the BSC is provide strategy map that are used to visualize the company model for the manager to consider cause and effect links. So in the progress of doing the strategy map, the engagement of and bonding of the organization also can be increased, since they need to guarantee that everyone in the company, every person in the company agrees with the interconnect strategic goal that has been planned. So secondly, the benefit the KPMG can get is that they will improve in terms of the performance reporting. So in line with the increasing demand of transparency, the customer now want transparency, right? So BSC is very suitable accounting technique to use to improve the report performance, because when we use the BSC, company will produce relevant management report and dashboard to convey performance both internal and also external. So then lastly, BSC can also enhance the strategy communication in the organization. So since the strategy along with all of its connect objective is mapped on a single sheet of paper, firm can communicate strategy more efficiently both internal and also external. This is enhance the comprehension of the strategy and assist in the participation of staff and external stakeholders in its implementation and revision. So that's all. Thank you.
Now, let us move to the data sources and data collection, where our team, our group is getting our data and informations, where are being gathered. So we use two sources of gaining the informations. So we collect our data with primary source and also secondary source. So primary source is a sources that is being handed first hand to from other party to another party. So in this case, we have been handed the knowledge and the information about KPMG from the interview with one of our audit staff, which is Mr. Ikmal Hakim bin Abdul Ghani. And then the secondary source, where we gain the information about KPMG, we surf the internet by going to the websites of the KPMG and also SDG. So from these two websites, we gain a lot of informations, and therefore we categorize this as our data sources.
Next is the importance of SDG to KPMG. Sustainable Development Goals set by the United Nations were mainly intended to help resolve and address climate change issues as a global community. Businesses are a crucial part of the economy and one of the main contributing factors to the climate change issues. Being one of the top 4 financial service firms that resolves clients' complex business issues, KPMG would need to have adequate knowledge to facilitate and assist their clients in adopting SDG goals, as well as allow the firms to report and represent the information in a correct manner. Secondly, KPMG's clients as well as consumers of these clients are becoming more and more environmental conscious due to several factors such as, for example, genuine concern for the climate change and its impact on future generation. Next, competitors adopting environmentally friendly strategy that puts pressure on firms to match this initiative to stay competitive in the market and be supported by consumers. Lastly, is the pressure of government to reduce their effect on the environment. KPMG as an independent firm also faces same governmental and competitive pressure, and thus it is crucial for KPMG to firstly follow the SDG agendas to match their own core values that relates to betterment and accountability, to compete with their competitors, as well as to avoid societal and government pressures of not aiming to achieve an SDG themselves, whilst assisting and encouraging its clients to have SDG agendas in their business goals and practices. So what current actions are being taken by KPMG? As per the data collected, we have come to know that KPMG Malaysia currently does not have any initiative that was directly intended to reduce the carbon footprint. However, due to the pandemic, most employees were challenged to work from home and adopted new methods of communication and to provide services to clients and stay connected with their team members. A survey was then conducted on challenges faced by employees due to the work from home initiative, and majority of the employees wanted to continue working from home post-COVID. The hybrid mode of working was then accepted by many employees as a comfortable and flexible means of delivering their professional service to clients. Since now, employees had the option to work from home, encouraging work from home allowed KPMG to not only keep their employees satisfied by taking their consideration and their preference, but also contributed to reducing emission, which would have otherwise been caused if all employees traveled to and from work. Additionally, working from home also meant less paperwork, and as more digital data is relied upon to analyze clients' issues and give solutions. Therefore, this is the only initiative that then became a means for KPMG Malaysia to reduce their emissions as a financial service firm.
So we continue to the main reason for the problem and obstacle. So basically, from the interview and also we done some research on this issue, we come across with several obstacles and also problem on KPMG to overcome the several issue that related to achieving the SDG 30. So the first issue is regarding the lack of awareness and encouragement. So this issue is actually related to the internal problem of the organization, where the problem arises because the action taken by the authority to give awareness and also knowledge about the carbon footprint itself is lacking. So in KPMG Malaysia, they still have a difficulty with SDG 13 because there is no like encouragement or implementation from the staff and the committee. However, KPMG Global, there is a launch of KPMG Impact, which is the accelerator for KPMG's global ECG strategy. So this platform will support and empower of the KPMG profession as they assist client in fulfilling their purpose and also achieving their ECG goal and supporting the world attainment on the UN sustainable development goal. So this help the client across ECG and also sustainability, economic and also social development, sustainable finance, climate change, and also decarbonization, and measure the assurance of the reporting. This issue relate also to the second issue as the issue of the lack of awareness also relate with the second issue where the staff itself has a very busy schedule. So therefore, so as well as we know, company is in the audit industry have received a pressure from the workload in order to achieve a strong position in the market because the KPMG is actually a very well-known company in the audit industry. So they want to achieve a strong position in the market and also to fulfill client demand. So basically the job description that they get, they need to catch up with the deadline given with a very limited time and also with the insufficient labor force, make the staff have no time to focus on the other matter such as SDG 13. So therefore this is actually the biggest obstacle that company faces in order to further this the step on the SDG, because actually the implementation part is very crucial since the progress of the net zero target is still in the first phase. So then next is the situation get worse when the effect of the pandemic and also the lockdown give more pressure since the pandemic has affect a lot of internal aspect of the company. So next.
So now, after we have recognized the problems that are faced by KPMG, there will always room for improvement for KPMG to achieve one of the SDG, specifically climate change. So there are a few suggestions from our group on how to improve the KPMG to achieve the SDG. Is that one, because we do know that the problems faced, there's no encouragement from the KPMG himself, and also there are pressure workload in the office. So therefore, the management need to give the right amount of pressure. Being said, management cannot push too much for the employees to implement the SDG. However, they need to put a certain reminder periodically, and they have to know that since they are a pressure workload that for the employees, so they need to have a simple practice initiatives by this, meaning because giving a contribution by this would give much more impact towards the climate change. So a simple initiatives that the company can provide is a 3R campaign, which is very familiar to the Malaysians, which are recycle, reuse, reduce, and reused. So this campaign could be a reminder to the employees that they must contribute to the climate change every day.
Next is the financial perspective. Profit is one of the main motives for any business organization to thrive in the industry. By making profits, not only is it motivating and beneficial to the stakeholders, but is also healthy for the business to allow for reinvestments and betterment of the business processes and lead to growth. Although we understand the importance of making profit, with current market trends and environmental conscious consumers and society, companies need to aim for generating sustainable profits. Sustainable profits are earned when a company provides a product or a service that is not only profitable but is also environmentally friendly. Therefore, this KPI of generating sustainable profit will be achieved if KPMG makes internal and external efforts to make more sustainable and reduce their carbon footprints by following this initiative highlighted in the next four categories.
So we continue to the second perspective in the balance scorecard. So there is a customer perspective. So customer satisfaction has a significant impact on the KPMG strategic success and competition in the market. So therefore, the customer perspective is ranked as second in the BSC. As for the profit organizations such as KPMG, the customer perspective is very vital to be tackled in order to achieve the profit maximization. Therefore, we have come up with the goal that is related to the customer perspective that is still in line with the SDG 13, which we want to KPMG to maintain the existing, as you can see from the goals, we want to KPMG to maintain the existing client, which we want the KPMG to strengthen the engagement with the existing client and also attract new client to make engagement with the firm. And then in order to achieve this goal, we also have some initiative or ideas that will help to make this goal achievable, where we suggest to the KPMG to encourage client to use cloud accounting to record transaction such as zero. And then we also encourage KPMG to assist their client to use this method, because this method can reduce the use of the transportation. As we know, transportation give a lot of the carbon emission. So if we can reduce the transportation to send the document, so it can somehow support the reduction of the carbon emission. So since this auditing processes a lot of data and also information, it is suitable for the company to use cloud accounting or cloud computing, so it can be easily accessed by both parties. So to see this effective of the suggestion, KPMG can measure their increased number of the new client, as it will show that the existing client may spread good rumors about the KPMG company. Plus, it also can reduce the use of paper in documenting, as the cloud has already stored the information. So after doing the report for the client, the audit report, we also come up with initiative to make survey on feedback. So KPMG should send them an online survey to determine if they are satisfied with the service provided or not. This survey will show the level of satisfaction result on the survey satisfaction of our client with the service provider, and also can use medium to seek suggestion for improvement from the client. So from this, the result of the feedback can
Environment and community perspective. Transportation is one of the major contributing factors to emission of harmful gases into the environment. Currently, KPMG Malaysia does allow their employees the flexibility to work from home or office space that is targeted to reduce carbon emissions. However, this process can be taken a step further by planning to come to office to ensure that employees from a particular area travel to office at the same day, or perhaps team members live close by to each other in assigned areas. Doing so will allow for easy carpooling experience and also optimize the use of company transportations to travel to and from work when necessary. Additionally, this will also reduce the need for employees to travel all the way to the office to have physical meetings if the team members are close. The meetings can be held in a much closer venue than the office. Secondly, KPMG will need to adopt recycle, reuse, and reduce approach because waste is inevitable. Thus, using and encouraging biodegradable products in office such as paper straws, reusable or environmentally friendly takeaway packs can help to develop a strong culture and habit that employees can practice in their homes as well. Additionally, beside internal efforts, external efforts can be made, such as by taking part in community programs that are related to this goal, can not only help employees gain more knowledge but also promote a positive culture within the company as well as society. These efforts and practices are common methods on how companies contribute to fulfill their social responsibilities. However, since KPMG has low awareness and also a very busy schedule, these small initiatives can help them to take small steps towards their main target of becoming carbon neutral by 2030. Lastly, consumption of energy also needs to be addressed, as KPMG venues have huge numbers of staff working for long hours, and thus cutting on consumption can also help them contribute to achieving their SDG agendas.
Help the KPMG to achieve the goal and can make improvement in every job that KPMG got from the client. So that's all. We continue to the next, third, the third component in the BSc. So we continue to the next component in the BSc. So it's called as internal process. So the process and the produce and the process that produce and deliver the customer value proposition are the focus of the internal process perspective. So it focuses on all of the activity and also the critical process that are required for the organization to thrive and providing the value that customer expect, both productively and also the financial. Therefore, in terms of the internal process, the goals that need to be achieved by the KPMG is optimized process through digitalization. So, we suggest the KPMG to optimize the process of digitalization in terms of the auditing, tax advisory, and also the technology consultant that are provided by the KPMG. So having these proper IT tools and that operate together can help KPMG enhance the productivity and also optimize their workflow. So it's allowed the team member to work more efficiently by automating many repetitive procedure and also connecting data across the firm. Therefore, KPMG can cater the problem of the overworld workload since they can reduce their workload by using the digital platform. So in order to achieve this goal, KPMG can start with initiative, the initiative, the implementation of the culture of use less paper waste by using the maybe using double side print also, and also cloud computing, which are mentioned in the as I mentioned in the customer perspective. So plus the process of the collection of the data from the client and engagement with the client is also through an online system. So it will shorten the time. Online systems such as Zoom and also Google Meet can make the process of the meeting easier and also easier to the firm to keep in touch with the client. So with this practice, it's not only can improve the efficiency of the internal process, but can also give the customer a better experience dealing with the KPMG firm. So that's all. Thank you.
Last but not least, the item from balance scorecard, which is learning and growth. So this is going to be inculcated in the employees, among the employees, and how the employees can learn from the KPMG, and also how can they growth working in the KPMG. So one of the goals that the KPMG could have is promote awareness of climate change by establishing competitive spirits. So when KPMG instill this competitive spirits amongst the worker, amongst the employee, these employees will have the urge to compete between each other to achieve a certain target like KPI, or maybe a bonus, or maybe an allowance. So the initiative is KPMG might want to have a social media competition because youngsters today, because we do know that employee know how to use social media, and the social media are currently being used widely. For example, TikTok or Instagram or YouTube. So this social media competition is a healthy way of to have a competitive spirits, because the example of social media competition is they can have reflection videos about climate change, and also they can have a competition about making vlog about climate change, because this is nowadays activities. Most of people are doing vlogs, so KPMG could benefit from it by having a social media competition. Also, other initiatives is they might want to give bonus, allowance, or gift to the winner, so that this competition is going to be a bit challenging and interesting. So certain measures that can KPMG measured this competition is by having the percentage of likes and shares. So for example, if the employees post their video reflection or maybe a vlog in the Instagram, there will be a like button and also a share button. So from there we can see that not just employee for KPMG can watch the video, but also the public can watch the video, which means they can like the video and also share. So from that kind of percentage, we could use as a measurement to identify who is the winner. And also the effectiveness of the contribution, this will be subjectively measured by the company itself on how effectively the video could improve and achieve the one of the SDG, which is climate change. As a conclusion, we could conclude that KPMG can focus more on these three because these initiatives is simple and not stressful, because we do realize that the problems of the company is pressure, workload, and there's no encouragement. So having a simple initiatives would actually, even though if it seems simple and small, it would eventually contribute to the achievement of SDG, which is to save the planet. So these three are environmental, internal process, and also learning and growth. So the first one, environmental, is carpool and recycling, where carpool is very an advantage for the KPMG, because an auditor would eventually go companies to a company to audit the company. Therefore, having a carpool would save a lot of climate change. And also recycling, where we do know that office using a lot of paper, water bottles, so recycle this waste are very helpful for the environment. And also the next one is internal process, which means less paper waste by having a digital working equipment, materials, like having a using computer much more rather than using papers. So we could save a lot of paper. And then last thing is the learning and growth. We're having a social media competition so that it will be much more interesting for the employee to enjoy their career and also to enjoy achieving the SDG. So that is all from our group. Thank you.